Hi.
Hello. How
How
are
you
you?
doing? I'm good. I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Here we meet at last.
Okay, I can't see you yet.
Oh, right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Da-da-da. I'm not gonna go. Ah, yeah. There you go. Start video.
Yay. Hello.
There you are. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you? So, do you prefer if I call you Kiki?
Yeah, Kiki's fine. Yeah.
Is that like a family nickname or?
No, it's a work nickname actually. So, it came from a brilliant Scottish actor called Jimmy Chisholm, actually, who was I suppose American audiences might know he was in Braveheart, Mel Gibson.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
but he's a bit of a hero of mine in terms of acting and in theatre. He's a brilliant, wonderful performer, and a dear friend. So he was just. It was about I don't know, must have been about 20 odd years ago, and he was just sitting repeating my name, saying Keith, Keithy, 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 Kiki, Kiki, Kiki D, for Dundee, and and then it just stuck, and so now all the actors up in Scotland, mainly know me as Kiki. So sometimes they'll say, Keith Fleming. They'll go, who? And they go Kiki, and they go, oh yeah, okay.
I just wondered
So
because my brother's Mark, but the family calls him MJ for his initials, but
right.
he won't let anyone else call him that, just the immediate family.
Right. Oh no. I'm absolutely fine with people calling me Kiki.
Okay,
Some
cool.
people struggle with it. The director of this was like, okay, Macbeth. He was like, shall I call you Keith or Kiki? Yeah. But yeah, I don't mind. It means that I trust you if you call me Kiki, so that's
Oh,
fine.
cool. Well, then I'll just assume you trust me. So I just wanted to ask you like a few questions about your acting and specifically like just starting with like Outlander because I know you were in it briefly, like a little bit of season 3 and season 4 you
Yeah.
played Lesley, and I understand that that was a made for TV role because it's actually not in the books.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I was in quite a lot actually because I started in season three, like you say,
In
and then
Ardsmere Prison.
yeah, Ardsmuir. So yeah, around about episode three, episode four, and then I was there all the way through to the end. Albeit there was a couple of episodes which jumped forward in time, uh, and then was killed off. They brought
I
me back to kill me
know.
off in series
Very
four.
dramatically.
I know. But yeah, I mean that was a shame. You always want to be kept, but because my character
Absolutely.
uh doesn't exist in the books, then they wrote me in so they can write me out. And I think because they got rid of Hayes, who does die in the book, they felt that maybe that was time to get rid of his partner in crime. But
Yeah.
they just replaced me with other people. I could very easily have that's my argument. I could have been one of the other people that
Right.
you know but obviously they were struggling to develop a storyline for him, and there's a lot of characters in there who are
Yes.
fighting for screen time or storylines. There's so many characters. You had
Yeah.
Brianna and Roger and all that coming into it, and so yeah, but it was a great experience. Um filmed in
I love the lament that you sang in the pub
yeah.
for uh for Gavin
Well,
Hayes.
Matt, the exec, and also directed some of them. He said at the time, if he had known I could sing, he would have made it a feature of the character.
I know.
So this was the on the day before that the we shot the scene of him being murdered. But yeah, so I said, "Don't kill me. You can rewrite this," you know. And he's, "Oh, sorry." But then, when we filmed series six, the opening episode of series six, did the flashbacks.
Yes.
Matt appeared because he had been in quarantine with the COVID sort of, time. So he appeared. It was on the last day because we had to do some reshoots of
Yeah.
the episode, which were shot at the end of the 6 episode block. So we're in Glencoe and he appeared over this kind of hill and he just said, Kiki, I told you I'd bring you back when they was singing. So I got to sing the Hey Johnny Cope sort of like rebel song as well,
Yeah. That's
back at
very cool.
Ardsmuir. So but yeah, wonderful experience. Outlander's like a big family. With the
That's
people
my
that are.
understanding. Yeah, I've met
Yeah,
been lucky enough to meet a lot of people that have been in the show, and that's what everyone says. It's just been a really positive, wonderful experience for them, and they've
yeah,
made, like lifelong friends. So
yeah, yeah. No, certainly. I mean, I think that's all credit to Meryl and Matt, and but a lot of it's to do with the crew. Because
mhm.
like when I walked back onto film series 6, the crew, the guys were all just like, "All right, Kiki, how you doing?" Like I'd only been like 6 weeks and not like
Yeah.
2 years or like it was, just clicked back into it. So that's a real credit to them, and obviously like Sam and Katrina,
Hmm.
John, Cesar, Lauren, the
They're all really nice people.
yeah, they're all great, and I keep in touch with a fair few, and ironically, I keep in touch with Ed Speleers, who
Oh
was
yeah.
for killing
He's
me. But
actually a really, I mean, people are like, oh, I hate him because he was Stephen Bonnet, but he's a wonderful person and very, very
he is, and he's really, really charming. So we keep in touch with John, Katrina, keep in touch with when possible, and when Sam's not busy, which just seems to be you know
hardly ever.
hardly ever. Yeah, yeah. He's got a very full life indeed. I don't know how he
Yeah,
squeezes everything in, but he will respond if I ask him to do me a favor or whatever. So yeah, we keep in touch. Lauren as well. Cesar, I'm in touch with quite regularly as well. So yeah, it was really nice to meet up. And like some of the other guys, Nigel Betts, um, I do keep in touch with as well, who was on the ship. And when we got shipwrecked, and when we went to the Caribbean, as it is, in series 3. Um, but yeah, wonderful experience, and we all went to Cape Town together. We
right.
shot out for 3 months, so yeah, we didn't
Good
get
experience.
the sort of tattoos that the Hobbits got, if we're going out shooting in New Zealand.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, so you've been done like a tremendous amount of theater.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you said you're currently doing Macbeth with Ray
I
Fiennes
am.
and Indira Varma, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Who are you
Yeah,
playing in Macbeth?
yeah. Well, I'm having to take a back seat in this one because I've played Macbeth 3 times and I played Macduff once.
Okay.
But this time I've given the big man Rafe. You know, I'm giving him the platform, so he's playing Macbeth, and Deera's playing Lady Macbeth. Obviously, I'm playing King Duncan, and I'm playing Seaward.
Okay.
So I get killed very early on in the play, and then I come back and I lead the English force, which supports Malcolm in his quest to regain the throne from the tyrant. So yeah, so yeah, a very important character, but it's a big thing to be a part of. So um, yeah, I'm very very proud to be a part of it. And you don't get to sort of share the stage with two such great actors,
Yeah, Ray
very
Fine.
often.
I'm not super familiar with Indira, but Ray Fine, I've kind of loved him since he did that really strange like New Year's Eve movie, and I can't think what it is now.
Ah,
It's
right, yeah.
futuristic. I'm
Oh,
blind.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like way
Um,
before the English, like way before the English Patient or anything.
yeah, yeah.
He was
Um,
opposite like Angela Bassett.
yes. I
I
don't know
can't
the
think
name
of
of it.
what it
I,
is, but
I
it
know
was a
the one
really
you
good
mean.
movie. It's like,
Yeah, I mean he's like an institution, isn't he? He's become one of those greats,
yeah.
like McKellen and stuff like that. But I mean, Indira, it's funny you say what you said there, but she says to me, there's a lot of people, Harry Potter fans come along, and they're like they're there to see Voldemort or the
Oh,
Wait
right, of course.
Side, who were children when the movies came out, but now they're adults.
Yeah, those
But
are great.
I
Those are
think
great movies too.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
let's talk a
So
little bit about like your background. Like, did you always know that you wanted to be an actor when you were younger? How did you like get into that?
I think, yeah, I was always very interested in it. I think I've mentioned before when I did an interview, it was like, being Han Solo, Star Wars, and all that sort of thing. There was like, I want to be Han Solo. How can I get to be Han Solo? Because I know it's
Yeah,
not
right.
real. But then you go, "Oh, okay. And I wanted to be a vet, uh, initially. I wanted to be. I'm fascinated, and still am, fascinated by primates and orangutans, gorillas,
Oh,
great
okay.
apes primarily. But that requires a huge dedication, with schooling and college and
Mhm.
exams. And then, of course, when I got to a sort of like a certain age, then you start to find, other things that distract you from doing your schoolwork, like women, or girls and football, and all this sort of stuff,
Right.
partying. Um, but I was going out with a girl who was going to a stage school in London, and that kind of whetted my appetite a bit more. I thought I could do that. I could do that. I was always interested in art as well, so I went to art college initially.
Oh, wow.
Uh, I got a scholarship to go to Chelsea Art College, which is a really high esteemed college for art, and I was doing fine art painting. But I kind of knew I wanted to go to drama college by this time. But somebody had said to me, "Why don't you take the year to make sure?" that you're certain. And
Mhm.
then yeah, and I knew kind of when I went, so I didn't really apply myself to the art, and kind of worked on going to the theater and reading plays and just kind of consume, because I'd never had any experience of it, you see, other than watching movies, watching TV, and having a few friends who did it. Um, but yeah, so then I was told that I wouldn't get in because I hadn't had any previous experience, and I got into the first two colleges that I applied for,
Oh, nice.
one of which was Guildhall. So, and that's the one I went to. It was just the most incredible place.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was much younger and in school, I was always in drama class and I loved it too. I totally
Ah, yeah.
yeah. Then I kind of like veered off and I went to college for broadcast news and radio. So, but
Ah, right. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So you kind of fall into things too. So,
Yeah, yeah,
so do you have any favorite roles that you've done or some you've liked better than others? Anything like
yeah. Well, Macbeth, obviously. Um, I did a version of Macbeth, a two-hander with wonderful actress called Charlene Boyd. And yeah, that was something I'm immensely proud of, and we have been looking at the possibilities of it coming back again. Um, yeah, that Peer Gynt, I played Peer Gynt, um, which was yeah, again, just one of those things that I just there's certain experiences you have in your life, and roles that stick with you. And Peer Gynt does. Barflies I did with a company who are dear friends of mine, become like family. A bit like the Outlander lot, called Gridiron. So it was based on Charles Bukowski's writing, and I did that with Charlene Boyd yet again, actually, and also with Gail Watson, two like absolutely super talented actresses, and that's part of the pleasure as well, is meeting people that you really spark off. Lonesome West, which I yet again, an actor, David Ganley, who's the most wonderful Irish actor. The writer's Mark McDonagh, who's well known across in the States. He did the Three Billboards film, which won some Oscars a few years ago. But yeah, that was another sort of highlight. And then there's like a little play that I did called Squash, where I played a character with had sort of learning difficulties.
that?
It was directed by a guy who I call my brother, Findan Hertog.
Oh,
Um,
Finn, yeah, I met him.
yeah, so he's
Yeah,
Outlander,
he's
so he's the Outlander
wonderful.
connection. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, very proud of that performance because it could have been easy to go into caricature, and so played it on the fine line. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, those things stick with you, Filming's
Right,
like an experience because it's the whole thing. Acting on stage, it's immediate and you have to be there,
right,
So it's like film, you get to do it again, and it's all so bitty. You film scenes, and
right.
you kind of
Not
you
like a
drop in.
continuous flow like the play is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you kind of get a whole journey in theater, whereas like you drop into a scene and you might not have been in sequence, So
right, right,
that's one of the differences. You just got to get there, whereas you kind of go on the journey with a play, I suppose.
right. Yeah, because the play it doesn't really stop. So no matter what happens, you still have to move
Yeah,
forward. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what do you think, if this is true? Do you think that being an actor has taught you anything? And if it has, what would that be? Like
Um,
taught you anything as a person or anything about like life or things of that nature?
Whoa, yeah, God, that's a good question. Well, yeah, I suppose it is. It's about working with people, reacting to people's situations,
Hmm.
and I think in the way that the world is today, you have to be much more aware of people's feelings, you
Oh,
know.
sure.
Yeah, and working as a
Changed a
team.
lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're working as a team and we're working individually, and I think it's quite often said about some actors that I think because you take on different roles. But when you get it, because work can be few and far between, you really apply yourself. And so I think there's a sort of dedication. You don't do this sort of career lightly, It's it's hard. It's really hard. So when you get the opportunities, you really relish them and you commit. And there's something about valuing the people, the opportunities that you get, and
Hmm.
applying yourself with a kind of dedication that I suppose many people can say that they're dedicated to their job, but some people to go, it's just a means to paying the bills. You have to
Sure.
love this, I think. So yeah, I think but I think what it's told me, or it's taught me is that I can take that into the other jobs, and I tend to apply if whatever I'm doing, if it's not an actor job, if I'm doing that job, then that's what I'm doing. So do it. I might
Hmm.
call myself an actor, but today I'm a barman, or today I'm a driver, or that's my job. So do that and do it to the best of your abilities.
Right,
I
right,
think it's about always trying to better yourself, always trying to improve, and
right.
just I suppose be kind.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure. Absolutely.
don't be an asshole. It's just, but
So to speak, right? Yeah,
you
for
see it
sure.
in
No, agreed.
the
Agreed.
industry, but the industry creates the monsters,
Well, that's true.
because people get things, and then you get the star kind of thing,
And then you
and
get like you believe your hype, and
oh
sometimes the ego gets in the way. Not for everybody, but for some
yeah,
people.
but it's a team.
You
It's a
know.
team, and it's very much. Like go back to the Outlander experience, or like in theater, you be nice to everybody, If it's the guy at stage door, if it's stage crew, if it's film
Hmm.
crew, wardrobe, makeup, whoever, you know, they're just doing their job. You're no
Right,
better than them. You're
right,
part of a team,
right.
So that's something to remember.
For sure. Do you so when you're going to get ready to perform, are you still excited to perform? Do you still get a thrill? Do you still
Yeah.
get butterflies? Like, is it still, even though you've done it for like a long time?
Yeah. I mean, and that's part of your job is to, um, yeah, to make, especially in theaters, it's to make it look like this is the first time it's happening to you. You got
Yeah,
to, you're experiencing everything fresh, and um, it's yeah. So yeah, yeah, you do get excited. There are times you think, oh, like on this job, it's I've been doing this since October actually now. So that's quite a long time to be
it
doing the
is
same
long.
show, but that is your job. The audience are paying good money coming to see the show, and that's the only time they're seeing it. So you
Right,
gotta you
right,
gotta be truthful in the moment and reacting to the other performers on stage, and giving it your all, and just
right.
reacting honestly, giving an honest interpretation of somebody's life in a kind of made up situation, I suppose, is what
Sure,
acting is.
sure.
But yeah, I still get excited. I think as I get older, yeah, you start to go, maybe start to doubt yourself a little bit, your
Right,
memory. You think, I don't know what that is. Uh, but we're all human, and for the most unknown reasons, suddenly something can come into your mind, and you're just about to say your line, or it's coming up to your line, and something comes into your head, and you go, "What? Why am I thinking about that?" And then you go, "What was my line? What is my line?" And but
right,
then it comes to you. It's good to keep you on your toes.
right, for sure.
Be
Have you
alive.
ever been like on a set or in a play, or when you realized, that what you're going to do is like absolute rubbish, not your character necessarily, but like the play or the movie where you just like panic or have a moment you're like, what am I going to do with this? Or you're going to
Um, I
just,
have been in a couple of shows that I was slightly embarrassed about, or I would say like, don't come and see this, or I
mm,
thought that the material was kind of rubbish. I maybe picked them for financial reasons rather than artistic reasons.
okay.
But what I always try and do is always make sure that I commit myself to my role 100%. So I can't, if I've done I never give up. If I chose to do the job, then I do it.
And you're just going to do it.
Um, but that's one of the lessons that has taught me. And sometimes I've had to learn the hard way was like, don't just do it for the money because it come back to bite you or you'll be miserable. And
Yeah.
so it has artistically, it has to be inspiring, I think,
Oh,
creatively. Yeah. But it
no,
helps if it's paid well.
yeah, right. That does help. So what do you think you would do if you weren't an actor? Have you ever thought of that? Did you ever have like a backup plan, or were you just like, I'm going 100% forward?
I didn't really have a backup plan, no. But other than a vet,
Right.
which would take like about 7 or 8 years of study in order to do that. Um, nothing really. I mean, there was a point where I used to get really bad back trouble for about 20 years, and
Ooh,
I kind of thought, would it be good to be a chiropractor or osteopath or
yeah.
because I love getting my back manipulated
Oh,
and I
yeah.
love the kind of some of the physios I've been to are just
Right.
incredible. I think I've maybe been to about 20 over the
Oh,
years.
wow.
Some in America when I was out there last doing a show. Um, but I've got two that were just extraordinary in the
Yeah.
sort of different way that they applied themselves. One who actually contacted Faith Johns, who's in Glasgow, and another guy called Stuart in Edinburgh, who were just so different to anybody else that had been. They really
Yeah.
committed to you rather than just like, okay, we'll see you next week.
Oh,
These
right.
people
No,
worked
no,
on
I've had
you.
two chiropractors my whole life. My other one
Hmm.
I had since I was like 19. He retired a couple years ago, and I have a new one, and he's much younger than me. He's like in his 30s.
Yeah,
I love him. Like I have like a really good relationship with him.
yeah, yeah. You
I
kind of
tell
do
him
think,
all kinds of things that are wrong with, and he's like, "Oh, I can fix that." Like he knows a lot. So,
yeah, yeah. I mean, someone's got their hands all over your body and they're
well, you have to
manipulating
trust
it.
somebody to let them do that too.
Yeah, you sort of tend to like, get into places where you're like, this is not a normal kind of relationship we got here. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe something like that. I don't know. But at the minute, I also work for this company. Last year, I started doing tours around Scotland, taking
Oh,
primarily Americans to some Outlander
oh,
film
fun.
locations, and
Oh, that's
um,
awesome. I want to go to Scotland and do a bunch of those. So I'll keep
yeah.
that in mind.
So I've been doing that with a company called Stravagan,
Okay.
and it was through a friend of a friend. A friend of mine, his friend owns the company, and he said, I think you'd be quite good at it. So I was looking for something else to do. Um, and I kind of really liked it. I just got thrown in there. And yeah, I took one guy, he thought he had booked as part of a tour, and it was just me and him
Oh,
driving around
cool.
Scotland. Buddy Younggreen, he's called. I think he's 87 years old.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
a massive Outlander fan.
Yeah.
I took him for 7 days, right, all around Scotland at different sites, and
That
obviously
sounds great. Like
historical
a
sites.
personalized tour.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I would love
So
that. That's awesome.
maybe it's something like that, and you get to see the sort of countryside, and there's parts of Scotland that I've never seen as a result. I've now seen uh,
Yeah.
as a result of the job. So yeah, probably something like that. But something maybe relaxing. I think. I think if it was, I would like to do something relaxing.
I don't even know what that means. Like everything I've ever done has not been relaxing. So if someone finds something relaxing, I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
usually things you do when people have to do things for money, to pay
yeah.
bills, it's not usually
No,
relaxing.
that's true. That's true.
It's usually a bit stressful. So what do you like to do in your spare time? I mean, I know that some of the other actors like Rick Rankin's big into photography. Sophie Skelton's like she used to be a ballet dancer. Like, do you have any vocations, or do you just like to relax and read? Or
I don't know. I'm not sure. I suppose
I
I would,
mean, you
I
don't
would
have
say
to have
the
one. I was
cheap.
just
I would
curious.
say like a lot of the actors on their downtime fill Instagram with their social media. It seems to be their pastime. Um
Well,
But
fans love that, so.
yeah, exactly. You know what it's about, or why it's done. But yeah, I do you know what I like? It seems really mundane, but I like walking. I like
Yeah.
hanging out with my friends. I've been walking to the theater. I'm in London just now, so I've been walking to the theater, and it's 8.2 miles.
Oh, wow.
I walk there. I don't walk back. I get the train back, but
Yeah.
so I try and do that every day, just so it saves me like going to the gym or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
good exercise.
Yeah,
I like hiking and walking myself, like
yeah,
getting off the beaten path.
walking, hanging out with my mates, um, making cocktails. Although I've been kind of off the booze for a bit. Um,
Well, when you were on the booze, what kind of cocktails did you make?
oh, lockdown was incredible. It just like eye-opening. So I made Vesper is one of my favorites.
Oh,
Whiskey sour,
yeah.
uh, aviation. Um, what else? Oh yeah, I tried so many rum sours, all Mai Tais.
Oh my gosh, I love Hawaiian Mai Tai.
Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, that's that. Like going to the movies, going to theater,
I love the
when you
movies
can.
too, yeah.
Yeah. So I just saw Zone of Interest recently in Poor Things, two incredible films.
How did you like Poor Things? Because I'm on the fence about watching that.
I thought it was extraordinary. I
Yeah?
thought like the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not sure. And then boom, I went, yeah. I thought Emma Stone was wonderful. And I thought
Okay.
Mark Ruffalo was wonderful as
Yeah.
well. Um, I could argue that they should have had, me in it, Scottish actor. Um, maybe
Yeah,
a bit more,
they missed the boat on that, right?
yeah, maybe a bit more reference to Alistair Gray, who wrote the book, Scottish writer and artist,
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe, but so yeah, that's watching wildlife documentaries. I love
Oh,
doing that.
cool. So
I'm
you said that
reading.
you wanted to be a vet because you like primates, you're interested in all that. Do you like other animals too? Do you have dogs and cats or anything like that?
I
Or no,
don't.
because you're so busy?
Yeah, it's really hard. I'd love to have a dog, but yeah, really busy. But yes, it's just because of this job. You never, you don't know kind of where you're going to be.
Right.
Uh, and if you get a dog, I used to have a dog when I like years ago when I lived in London. And it just wasn't fair, and
Oh yeah.
you need to have a sort of more steady job, know where you are, and you always
Or
need
take your
somebody else.
dog with you, one or the other.
I know, that would be good, yeah. It'd be great to
So
take it. If I was living the sort of like absolute film set life, I could take my dog everywhere, like Tom Hardy or that, So I
yeah.
don't know,
Well,
maybe
I know
one
that
day.
like in the past, when before Katrina's kitty died, she used to take Eddie with her sometimes.
Ah, right.
Yeah, that was sweet. So just wrapping up a little bit, but so what advice would you give for those people starting out? Like, you have advice for someone wanting to be an actor, or would you tell them just do something else?
Um, Well, I would say like it's kind of repeating what I said earlier on. It was like you have to really want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and be prepared for rejection.
Oh, right.
Because that's a massive part of the job. There's a huge environment or atmosphere of like people being offended and folk not being. Uh, I understand where a lot of this stuff comes from. People being bullied or whatever, but directors give you notes because
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing whatever you think you're doing. They're giving you a note because whatever you think you're doing isn't coming across.
Okay.
Um, and you've taken the job with the director at the helm. And I know that there's things in the industry of cases of bullying and stuff like that, but I've not maybe a couple of times seen it out of all the jobs I've done. Generally, you're in the room because you are a nice person, you get on well each other, and the director has got a vibe with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's about working with other people, being prepared to
Right.
compromise, not make it all about you,
Right.
but really you have to want to do it. And the rejection thing is something that you have to get used to, unless
Oh,
you're very lucky, very, very lucky. Um, yeah, be prepared for that because it's probably about 90% of the job. is being told, no, sorry, we've gone a
Right.
different direction. Or,
Right.
which is the sort of like, common tagline that you get, oh, we've gone in a different direction. You're like, all
Right.
right, okay.
Right. It's a nice way of
Yeah.
saying thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite often it's not that you were bad. It's just that you weren't the right for that director.
Right.
A lot of the times it's like they've got in their mind, it's like when you read a book, in your head, you go, I, you create what that character looks like.
Oh, for
Sam
sure.
Heughan wasn't necessarily Jamie Fraser, didn't look like, because, everybody who reads that book would have their own. There'd be thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who read the
Sure.
book, pictured Jamie Fraser in their head. Now they can't help but, read it with Sam's face.
Right.
So,
Right.
but when Sam walked into the room, they were like, yeah, him. So that's, somebody might go in their head, they go, oh, somebody who looks a bit like that Sam Heughan guy,
Yeah.
or so that, and if they don't see that, otherwise you wow them and you go, wow, I didn't think about it that way. So yeah, maybe, so yeah, and it's about dedication and but really wanting to do it, really being passionate about it.
Right. I think
Um,
so. Absolutely. Especially if
you
you're
have
going
to
to get
have
that
a
much rejection, you definitely need to be passionate about what you
yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah. It's hard. It is really hard. But you need a kind of like endurance and stamina
do. Right.
to keep
So
going.
I guess my last question for you would be, so what's next for you? How much longer is this play going to go? Do you have something else that you're going to do, or are you going to take a nice
Uh,
long break?
oh well, I've got until May, and then I'm gonna yeah. So I'll finish about sort of the end of the first week in May, and then I'm gonna take maybe 2 weeks off. Um, kind of need to move house. I need to get a new car. There's
Oh,
lots of
wow.
business that I need to do um when I get back home. Um yeah, just some stuff like that. And then I don't have anything really on the pipeline. I'm going to be doing the tours again.
Oh, nice.
So we'll go back to, take some of the American tourists around Scotland that are
Wow.
Outlander
That actually
fans.
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's the plan. I mean, I might
Yeah.
go on holiday,
Yeah.
um, but I'll wait and see. There's many places I want to try. So I feel that, yeah, but that's a lot to cram into two weeks.
Yeah,
So I
right.
think I've got enough, place to stay and a car is quite a lot to
Yeah,
sort of put.
sometimes it takes a little bit of time to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. You're absolutely lovely, and it was such a pleasure, and I'm absolutely thrilled.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, if you get yourself to Scotland or any of the other Outlander fans, come and get your personalized tour with me.
Well,
Uh,
you know what? I probably will in the next year or so. I just have to get some stuff organized here, but for sure I want to do that. So I will definitely be.
yeah,
That
I'm
would be
actually meeting up with some of the some of the fans that I took last year. I'm going to be meeting up. They're
oh,
coming to see the show. Some of the American ladies. So
oh yeah.
yeah,
You said the show is coming to DC. When is that going to? Did
yeah,
you know when
it's
and
coming
where
to
that's going to
DC.
be?
It's going to be in DC from the 6th or 7th of April to the 6th of May.
Okay.
So it actually might be a bit later that it starts, maybe like the 10th of April to the 6th of May.
Okay.
So it's the Shakespeare um, Theatre in Washington.
In DC.
Yeah, in
Okay.
DC. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Oh,
if you
that sounds
go
cool.
Shakespeare, was it Shakespeare Theatre, Shakespeare Repertory Theatre in Washington D.C. So yeah, but it's not actually happening in the theatre. It's been done in a warehouse about 2.5 miles away
Oh,
from
okay.
where the actual theatre. So yeah, we're there. Um, yeah, and then I'm going to take a week off and go up and see one of my best friends in Connecticut, and then I come back and have take 2 weeks off and then just get back into it. I'm not very good at not doing anything. I don't like
Yeah.
just sitting. So you
I have a
know,
hard time with sitting around too, so I understand.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll definitely reach out to get all the details because that sounds like fun. And I'm not super, super far away from DC, like maybe 4.5, 5 hours.
All right, where are you?
So I'm right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So not
Okay,
super,
nice.
super far. In fact, my brother lives in Maryland too.
Ah, right, okay, Maryland. Right, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're looking at some places we might go visit. I mean, obviously we're there to do the show, so we don't get much time off. But Baltimore's only like an hour away, 40 minutes. So we're thinking of
Yeah.
going
So
more.
Baltimore, I would say Inner Harbor, like that
Uh-huh.
Inner Harbor. And that city's a little hardcore, so just be careful there.
All
And
right. Okay.
there's if you like Edgar Allan Poe, there's an Edgar Allan Poe house,
All
like I
right.
guess one of the places he used to live. Because I believe when he passed away in Baltimore. So that's like a
Ah,
big
right, right,
deal.
right.
I think that's a big deal there. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things to do there.
Yeah.
There's an aquarium in Baltimore that's really cool if you like fish. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so,
And then I'm going to go. My friends in Connecticut. I've always wanted to go to Boston. I've been to New
yeah,
York 5 times, and obviously last time I was over there doing a show in America, I was there a month in Chicago, which is
yeah.
a great city.
Chicago's
Um,
pretty good.
but I've never been to Boston, so my friend's 2 hours
Boston.
drive from Boston, so I'm going to go
Boston's
to
good.
Boston for 3 days.
Um,
Yeah.
then of course, not that far from Boston is Salem,
Ah,
Massachusetts. And I mean, obviously it's touristy, but it's still really
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
They have the Witch Museum and everything. And my cousins live like one town over. So yeah, I think you
Ah,
would like
right,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. But obviously, like, first and foremost, I'm there to do the job.
Oh
And
yeah, of course, of course.
yeah, I'm just waiting on my visa coming through. So yeah, it's taking
Okay,
its
well,
time.
good luck with all of that. And maybe I'll reach out. Maybe I'll try to finagle a way to come out and see you do your
Yeah,
I'd love to see
do
you.
that. Yeah,
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure, Kiki. You're just
great.
wonderful. So
Thank you very much. And
thank
good to
you.
speak to you. And good
All
luck
right.
with
Have a
everything.
good day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.